Have you ever had the feeling that something in your life just isn't clicking? Maybe you've looked around and noticed other men who don't seem particularly special, yet somehow they effortlessly command attention. They walk into a room and all eyes are on them. They speak and people listen. They don't have to try. They don't need to prove themselves. They have something you can't quite put your finger on. What if I told you that this something isn't just luck or genetics? What if it's actually a rare set of skills and knowledge that only 2% of men ever access? Yes, only 2%. Think about that for a second. That means the vast majority of men, 98% in fact, go through life never unlocking their true potential. They settle. They feel lost, frustrated, stuck. They wonder why success in relationships, confidence, and life in general seems just out of reach. But here's the thing, it's not out of reach. It's hidden in plain sight, accessible only to the men who know where to look and how to develop the right mindset and habits. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you the secrets that will allow you to step into that 2%. By the end of this video, you'll have practical tools you can use to enhance your personal care, refine your social skills, and become the type of man who naturally draws others in. You'll finally understand what separates the men who struggle from the men who thrive. But here's the deal. These aren't quick fixes or gimmicks. What I'm about to share requires a shift, a mental and emotional transformation. So, if you're ready to break free from the 98% and step into the rare breed of men who get it, stay with me until the end. I promise you, it'll be worth it. Let me tell you a story. There's a guy, we'll call him Mark. Mark was, in many ways, the definition of average. He worked hard at his job, but never really stood out. He had a few friends, but he wasn't the type of guy people naturally gravitated towards. In social situations, Mark was invisible. No one really paid him much attention, and it felt like every conversation was a struggle. When it came to women, well, Mark tried. He really did. But no matter how hard he worked on his appearance, no matter how many tips he tried to follow, he just couldn't seem to connect. He always felt like something was missing. But one day, something changed. Mark met a mentor, an older gentleman who seemed to have life completely figured out. This guy wasn't rich, he wasn't a celebrity, and yet people were drawn to him like a magnet. Mark had to know his secret. So one night, after a long conversation, the mentor revealed something that would change Mark's life forever. The mentor said, "Mark, the problem isn't that you aren't trying hard enough. The problem is that you're focusing on the wrong things." Most men are. They believe it's all about appearances, about status, about playing some game to win people over. But it's not. The men who succeed, the ones who truly stand out, they've tapped into something deeper. They've cultivated an internal confidence that radiates outward. And here's the kicker. Only a small percentage of men ever figure this out. Mark was intrigued. What was this mysterious inner confidence? And more importantly, how could he get it? This brings us to the core of what I'm going to share with you today, the rare knowledge that only 2% of men ever discover. It starts with a deep understanding of yourself, your mind, and how to harness your inner power. This isn't some mystical concept. It's about knowing and mastering certain skills and mindsets that will fundamentally shift how others perceive you, and more importantly, how you perceive yourself. The first principle is self-care, but not in the way you might think. Most men hear self-care and think of superficial things, working out, grooming, maybe dressing a bit sharper. And while those things are important, they're just the surface. Real self-care starts with how you manage your mind and emotions. Are you in control of your thoughts, or are they controlling you? The 2% of men who understand this know that their mental and emotional state is what drives their success in every area of life. They've learned how to cultivate calm, confidence, and control no matter what situation they're in. Think about it. How often do you let anxiety or fear take over? Maybe you overthink things in social situations, or you worry about how others perceive you. The 98% of men allow these thoughts to consume them, which leads to nervousness, insecurity, and ultimately inaction. But the 2%, they've trained their minds to let go of fear and anxiety. They know that mastering their mental state is the foundation of everything else. And this leads us to the second principle, social skills. We've all heard about the importance of social skills, but most men don't truly understand what that means. It's not about being the loudest person in the room, cracking jokes, or being the life of the party. No. Real social skill comes from understanding human psychology, from being able to read people, understand their needs and desires, and communicate in a way that makes them feel seen and heard. The 2% of men who have mastered this don't try to impress others. Instead, they listen, they pay attention, and because of this, they naturally attract people without effort. The third principle is authenticity. This one's tricky because it's often misunderstood. People throw around the word authenticity all the time, but most of us don't practice it. Being authentic doesn't mean you say whatever's on your mind or that you don't care about other people's opinions. True authenticity comes from alignment, aligning who you are internally with how you present yourself externally. When your actions, your words, and your intentions are aligned, people can sense it. It's powerful and it's rare. This is what separates the 2% from the 98%. Finally, we have purpose. This is the ultimate game changer. Men who live with purpose, who have a clear sense of direction and meaning in their lives, stand out without even trying. When you know where you're going, others want to follow. When you're focused on your personal mission, everything else falls into place. Your confidence, your social interactions, your ability to attract and influence others. So here's the truth. The knowledge I've shared with you today is rare, but it's not unattainable. Most men will never access it because they're too focused on the surface, on the external. But you, by watching this video, by seeking more, have already taken the first step. You're not part of the 98% anymore. You're on your way to becoming one of the few men who truly get it. Remember, it's not about trying harder. It's about understanding deeper. It's about mastering your mind, developing true social skills, living authentically, and finding your purpose. Once you integrate these principles into your life, everything will change. You will no longer be invisible. You will no longer struggle to connect. You will no longer wonder if you're good enough, because you'll know that you are. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most men. Now, it's time to take action. Start applying what you've learned today and watch how the world around you begins to shift. You have the power to join the 2%. The only question is, will you use it? I sincerely hope that this message has been useful to you. I want to congratulate you greatly for having come this far and for having finished the video. That means that you want to improve as a person. If you liked the video, leave your comment. You don't know what to comment. Comment "I dare" so I know you made it to the end. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and join us. Thank you for your attention. Until next time, warrior.